Finally, here's the FUV. It's a little smaller than I thought it would be in person. It's a little smaller, but it feels beefier, if that makes any sense. Mark just left, but he rolled up in this guy. This is the Roadster, which also looks smaller in person than it looks in the videos, but it's beefier. It's more like a bulldog. It looks really solid. So I basically get my pick. Got the FUV, the red Roadster, or we go all black, everything. The jet black Roadster. And we just found out, Mark just let us know that as part of the reconciliation package, they are including 2- and 3-wheeled vehicles. If the bill passes, Arcomoto would qualify for a tax credit or 30%. Spot to hold your phone. That's pretty cool. I didn't see that before. I don't know if this is aftermarket, but that's still pretty cool. Spot to hold your phone for GPS and the numerous FaceTimes you will be doing with your friends. It is a more impressive vehicle when you're standing in front of it than it was when I saw it on other people's videos. It looks a lot more beefy. So now we just got to pick a model and go for a ride. So who am I here with?
Hey, Jess Jessup.
That's Jess?
Drew Garrettson.
Drew.
Ray Nichols.
Of Arcimoto. We're about to do my first drive in the FUV.
So go ahead and have a seat in the driver's seat. I'm going to give you an orientation on the controls and how this thing works.
Okay, so I'm getting in.
Okay. So
To start your vehicle, press the brake and squeeze the startup button.
just smash that pedal as hard as you can. There you go. Got it.
Okay.
Now this is our display screen, indicates our state of charge, how fast we're going, and a bunch of other information. The machine is based off of motorcycle controls.
Right.
There's a lot of off-the-counter motorcycle controls here. On your right foot, whereas on a bike that might be the back brake, that is the hydraulic brake.
Okay.
That's the only thing that actually physically stops the machine.
Okay.
All right. Up here where you would have a front brake, you have a little trigger here. This is the Regen brake.
Okay.
Similarly to the way you would do most of your braking with your front brake, you'll find yourself doing the vast majority of your slowing with
Just
the
by
Regen
using the
brake.
Regen. It's kind of like when you downshift.
Right, and it's got a very progressive feel, so you can really control your rate of deceleration with that trigger.
Okay.
It's got a twist throttle, just like
This
a
is a
motorcycle.
twist throttle, okay.
This is a red kill switch. We won't be needing that today, hopefully.
Okay.
This is the question you asked about. Since there are no gears, clutch, or shifting at all, this is just neutral, forward,
Got
reverse.
it. Okay.
High and low beams for your lights, horn, hazard lights, and turn signals left and right, but they're not self-canceling, so after you complete your turn, you have to remember to push that to cancel.
All right, so let's go left,
Yep.
push it to stop.
We've got controls for windshield wiper and wiper fluid, front and rear heated seats, heated grips, defrost, parking brake, which is really the thing we use the most, and then these are some future features we have not yet programmed just yet.
This is traction control. And what's this?
That's probably a settings function.
A settings thing, okay. And then this is what? Looks like M1 for investing.
Right.
If you want to invest, here, M1 button, throw a couple $100,000 into the FUV. All right, so I'm now in the driver's seat, as they say, in the Arcimoto.
Grab it, twist
There we go. Okay. Okay, we're in gear. Okay.
So crank it hard to the right, and then you'll have to back up and then turn it out to get. We can't get up.
So here, then we'll go backwards. Oh yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah. To get it going,
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's like when you're on a. I just can't see the distance. In the,
right.
How far?
Oh, you can keep going back.
Plenty of space.
So yeah, let's go ahead and take a right. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
FUV coming. That horn is nice. There's a lot of visibility clearly in this thing. Huge view that you do get.
And you can also see how easy it is to have a conversation in here because of the enclosure. Yeah.
That was a big question I had in terms of how much do you feel the elements, right?
Yeah, it's a little windier back here than it is up front. You're better protected because they're closer to the windshield.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, you're gonna want to learn that throttle control. It's pretty precise, actually. It's slow off the bottom, but then it really.
But then it picks up. Yeah. It's
really,
almost like
yeah. So a few blocks up here, there's a left to get down to PCH.
Right. All right. So let me get my turn signal going. Woo!
I think he's already having fun.
Well, one thing I really like about it is I like the sound of the motor.
Yeah.
Like I like that. I like hearing that. I didn't think you would hear it as much. I thought it'd be quieter than it is, but I like that.
Nimbleness of it, the weight distribution of it, and the acceleration of it, all of those things came together to overcome how I felt about the flat ride, because it really is just fun.
He told me it was like 1,900 pounds, but it feels a lot.
1,300.
1,300. Okay, so
all
even
that weight
less.
is really low. It's right between your
That's
ankles.
the thing. Yeah, it feels really. It feels really planted. A lot sturdier than I thought it would, especially with that third wheel. You know, you catch a turn the wrong way, and that was a concern.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was concerned. I was saying in one of our podcasts, like, I don't know, I'd get on the highway.
A front-wheel drive three-wheeler is inherently more stable than a rear-wheel drive three-wheeler.
Oh, yeah.
And
oh,
then,
yeah, sure.
The trick to making it work right is the relationship of the width of the front track and their distance to the rear wheel, and how that relates to the location of the center of the gravity. So when the weight is low and forward, it's just like the third leg on an easel.
Yeah, I gotta say, just as we're talking, I'm surprised at how little the exterior sound gets in. I'm surprised at how little, like, the road noise and the sounds of the cars is interrupting our conversation, just like you said. There's definitely a learning curve, like learning how to steer this thing, but even within the first few blocks, I'm like, you know, 100% more confident than I was before.
Like now, sometimes
now I feel it.
Turn certain signal off sometimes. I get it too, and I've been riding for 30 years.
I definitely feel the two-stage power. I mean, I asked Mark what the top speed of, say, the Roadster was, and he said it's like what is it, 0 to 60 in 10. But they can do you can do some software to get it down to like 8 seconds.
Yeah, I think I've tried the Roadster, and I think I've gotten to 0 to 60 in probably about 8, under 10, but more than 8.
Because it does feel throttled up to like maybe 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, the very initial bottom end, and that's just about the way the acceleration curve is programmed.
Okay.
And that can be adjusted in software.
Right, okay. It really does feel fast. Like, I feel safer than I thought I would at, like, highway speed, or even with all these cars around me. Hey, we can say hi to a Tesla. We just passed the Tesla. Gave it the little nod, you know, the little zero emissions nod. What's up, buddy? It is a lot of fun to drive. I mean, I have to say, it's a lot of fun to drive. It's a different experience. It's certainly not a car, and it's not a bike. All right, here we go. I'm chasing the police. I don't know if you can hear it, but the motor has a really nice sort of whine to it. It's like a turbine, and it's very rewarding. It's as rewarding as a gas car. You know, anybody that's had a gas car, you stamp the foot down and you hear that motor roar up. I like that sound, and it's got a cool whine too as the regenerative braking kicks in. It almost sounds like an airplane. If you heard the airplane spinning down. It's got the sound of like an airplane turbine. It's a good height too. It's not quite as high as an SUV, but not as low as a car.
You're commonly sitting at about the same height of your average sedan. You're looking at other drivers eye to eye.
Right. It's a comfortable height. I do feel secure. What's the top speed of this?
Officially on paper we say 75 to 80 because those are the legal posted limits.
Which means 95 to 100. But you didn't hear that.
I have not yet encountered another employee who's had it over 84. I've had it over 83.
Over 83.
I've had it up to 83.
83. That's got to feel like 160. Because the effects of the speed are easily double.
I mean, it's certainly stable, but as you said, the steering is very, very responsive, so you got to be very careful when you're going fast.
That's one thing that I noticed. Even when you're steering, you need very little movement to create a big shift in the car's direction, so it takes some used to be lighter on it than you think. I would say I wish the mirrors were a little bigger, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know a lot of our customers have also benefited from a rear view camera.
Yeah, like a rear view camera or bigger mirrors, because I have a lot of, wow, this is fast. Yeah, this is real fast. All right, so now I'm just opening the throttle. We are at, wow, it's fast. This thing is fast. That was 50 miles an hour.
I can't help it. Every time somebody hits the throttle like that, I have to laugh.
You have to laugh because you know what's coming. Well, you know what it is? It feels like it still has more.
It does.
Keep going. Like I feel like it's just this car in front of me.
The only problem is the guy in front of you.
Yeah, but it definitely feels like it has more in it at 45, 50 miles an hour. Like you feel it. I think it's that acceleration curve. You guys program it, or maybe on the Roadster, it's just a clean, full power to the wheels. It feels like it has more, and I do feel like I'm being throttled.
I know that there was a lot of thought put into how that acceleration curve
feels,
and a lot of the considerations were, know, the variety of skill levels of users that are driving it.
Yeah.
And also, some of that was also influenced by, you know, the efficiency of battery usage.
I'm sure that those two things are in play. What I would say is, I mean, if you could have profiles, user profiles. Right. Hey, I'm coming in, I'm an advanced user. Maybe you give me access to some extra features, some more power. And eco in a sport, just even if it's just that. But I feel like there is a serious market to race these things, man. Like seriously race these things.
The company has no official position about e-motorsports.
Right.
I personally have a tremendous interest in e-motorsports.
I mean, I think that that's part of how you grow this. EVs just destroy their gas-powered equivalents, right? So you get this thing on the road and you have a couple of those videos going viral, and it's just another way of getting people in the tent because this thing is powerful.
I have had the good fortune to take a couple of hot laps in these things on a racetrack.
I imagine it's fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really an aggressive rider, so I mean, I like to enjoy the ride, but racing that's next level operation.
Initially, I had concern about the analog, like, instrument cluster here, where I said, oh, you know, like, it's a lot of buttons, right? Maybe you want it to be all digital. But, like, feeling this now, just having to keep your eye on the road, especially in this vehicle, I can see why. Without, you know, looking down, without taking your eyes off the road, you can turn on whatever it is you need.
Just one button, you don't have to try to
right, no accessing of menus, which is a complaint on some of the Tesla cars. Like, you just want to, like, turn the vent, you know, to raise the AC or something, and it's a button, you know, things like that, or the wipers. You know, I've read those complaints. I do want to get some open space and open this thing up till I get scared. I want to see the point I get scared.
Well, maybe we should take the 405 then.
Yeah, maybe we do. Here we go. 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, woo, 48. Recharge some of that juice.
Yeah,
and I really like that sound, man. I really like that sound, like the motor. So the sound that I'm hearing now, the air, is that the brakes? Is it pneumatic brakes?
That's the sound of the brakes and the rotors grinding a little bit. A lot of people have made comments about the sound of the brake rotors rubbing.
Yeah.
What people don't realize is that they're most of the time inside their car.
Right, you're exactly. Oh yeah. I was just gonna say you're like you're right there. Is there a reason why you guys decided to leave that open? Leave like the wheel hubs and stuff?
Mostly it had to deal with just the geometry of having to have a fender and they also have enough wheel travel.
Turning radius, right?
Well,
and wheel travel. I don't know if you can see, there's a Tesla. He was checking us out. The Tesla was checking us out. I would be worried leaving this on the street.
Right.
Not that anyone's going to steal it. It's really heavy.
Well, you know what? Every motorcyclist has to worry about that too.
But this is going to grab, this is going to grab eyes. At least until these are ubiquitous.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're shooting for. Ubiquity.
Yeah. So you really feel there's like 3 levels of acceleration here. It's like from 0 to 20 is like 1 level, and then there's definitely like a snapback that kicks in at 20 miles an hour that takes you, I mean, literally, it'll take you all the way through 50, but I haven't had enough room to see like when I feel like it sort of plateaus. But so far I haven't felt it. Brakes are pretty responsive. The brakes are a bit hard to push, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. The turning radius is a little, I don't know if I'm doing it hard enough, but it feels like it's a little shallower than I expected.
Yeah, it's got a bit of an understeer because it's
heavy
on the front.
Okay, is that what it is? Okay, because I feel like I want to steer more and it won't go.
Yeah.
And maybe when it's tilting, that'll help.
Yeah, that'll be a completely different experience.
Now we're on a bit of a windy road.
Snakes back and forth, bottom of the hill.
Okay, now we're open. 53. Oh yeah. The brakes work.
Oh yeah, stops great.
The brakes definitely work, and it didn't even skid. That was like 60 to 0 in like, I don't know, 50 feet.
Fast.
50 feet. If I let go of the brake now, is it going to roll back?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. My car has a hold feature where if you push it really hard, it'll hold until you hit the gas.
What do you drive?
It's a Mercedes. It's like that feeling when you first get in a go-kart and you realize how powerful it is, how it's so planted, it's not going anywhere. It's I'm not worried about it skidding. I'm more worried about understeering. Okay, we're at 45 miles an hour now. Oh yeah, see, now I have to let go of the throttle because I physically can't steer enough. Like I feel it fighting me to go. The steering does really
pushing on one side and pulling on the other.
Yeah. I literally was my body weight, but it doesn't lean, but it's just an instinct. All right, so I haven't felt it slip. I haven't felt it skid out. I'm at 53. I'm at 60. 66. And even with how open and how much feedback there is, I'm not as concerned or about being in an open air vehicle like this as I thought I would be. I know I'm saying that a lot, but it's really surprising me. It would be cool if it regenerated when I was going downhill.
It does. It's picking up a little bit of something. When
oh, okay, it is. Okay, it is. I feel like I put it into neutral by accident.
You did kill it though.
Oh.
Hit the red switch. There.
Red
switch down.
Uh-huh.
That's just back to neutral.
Uh-huh.
Put it in gear, and now you should be able to go.
Okay, that's cool. Oh, I hit that by accident. That's scary.
It's a safety feature that's required by the government for motorcycles.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I would get
people
used
that
to
have motorcycle experience don't do that so much.
Right.
People who don't, that's a common mistake.
All right, so I would say I'm maybe 30 minutes in. I feel a lot more comfortable in this now than I did even when I first got in. It's a super comfortable ride. It's a little stiff, but I kind of want that. I got that feedback from the...
It's got dual motors.
Any plans to maybe do a tri-motor version of this?
There's been some conversations about putting a hub motor on the back. That would be my suggestion if they want to make an off-road version.
I was going to say, that's what I want to do with this thing. I want to take this thing off. The one thing is, yes, that low-speed steering is something you've got to get used to.
So we are really close to releasing the torque vectoring update. So that'll be a software update that will allow, that's going to really fix that problem. I got to test drive a prototype of it on the trip down here. The wheels will turn independently of each other.
Okay.
Right, and it's all controlled by computer based upon a bunch of input factors.
Right.
So it's going to help you at low speed turns. It's going to help you. It's going to stiffen up at high speed. It's going to make the whole thing. It'll be like a really nice controlled, power steering system with some traction control integrated into it, and yet you won't need a power steering unit because it's all going to be software driven.
Okay, and so compared to, say, the Roadster, how does that compare in terms of specs for this one?
Basic underpinnings of all the vehicles, the same chassis, same battery,
platform,
same motor, same everything.
Yeah.
There's a significant weight reduction on the Roadster, so it's almost 300 pounds. It's closer to 1,000 pounds instead of 1,300.
Is it the same like motor, battery
Everything
setup?
else is the same, in fact. But after having driven the Roadster several times, I was really suspicious that they were not telling you the truth about that. So I grilled some of our guys in the engineering department, saying, "Are you sure there's not a difference?" Because the Roadster, to me, was significantly more responsive, more nimble, better acceleration, more efficient on range. Yeah, I'll back on the PC. They said that that was very specifically due to Deliverator benefits from a little bit of aerodynamic enhancement because this back seat being open on the sides like this kind of acts like a little bit of a parachute back here. So you get a bit of drag from this open back end.
Think of doing like an open mesh, that open mesh, like the Herman Miller Aeron chairs?
Oh.
Where it's not actual fabric or anything, it's just the air passes right through it?
They probably would consider doing something like that.
That would get about the best of both worlds.
Right. I know that they tried to give it the best of both worlds because it is an open air vehicle, but there's still people in cold areas that want to buy it. So we did put heated seats and heated hand grips on it, depending how cold it was. But yeah.
But first of all, we just got on the highway. Like I was the guy saying I don't know if I get on the highway with this thing, and I just ended up on the 10, and I felt fine. I mean, I felt fine with cars everywhere. They're all honking me because I'm doing stuff that they don't expect, and I did feel a lot safer than I thought. The steering takes some getting used to, and I found what it was just now I'm trying to accelerate while I'm turning, and so you're trying to keep the throttle in a certain position while you're turning. That's the part that's strange. I can see if I'm making a right turn, it wouldn't feel as weird as a left turn where I'm trying to keep the throttle but also pull. That was a moment where I felt a little, You really only need the hydraulic brake to just have the vehicle not roll back.
Yeah, just for stopping.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can really use just the regenerative braking to do everything.
Yeah, if you control your throttle and your regen, you really never need to use it, except, like I said, to hold yourself from rolling. A lot of our customers and a lot of EV owners have just made a real craft out of it.
Oh yeah, I'm so on it in terms of when to release the brake so that it can regen to the point where you just need to stop the car, and you also want it regenerating as long as possible.
Right.
You don't want to brake hard because you're losing time in regen. So I've gotten.
And set the parking brake is one thing we always want to remember to do because otherwise they'll roll into something.
Okay.
Ooh,
that was fun. That was fun. I definitely got to say I'm a believer. This was, it's way different when you drive it than when even you see people driving it. It's something that you really should experience. I think if people experience it, you have a whole different feel on the product as well as the company. Like, I can see why you guys are pushing so hard to get this thing to scale and get it out there to as many people as possible. So this is a Deliverator. I was very, very curious and honestly skeptical about the cargo space, the exact amount of like the cubic footage of space. Okay, so this one only has one seat.
I need to go get the key.
What do you got back?
I'm
What do
waiting
we got back here?
on the key to the side door to show up. But this is, it's all open to one big space, right? This, but then the floor of this comes down to about here. So I can't
about how many cubic feet would that be?
I don't know. That's a really great question. What I can say this is that anecdotally, I've previously been an Amazon Flex delivery driver, and you can easily fit an entire 3-hour Amazon Flex route in this thing.
The nice thing is too, there's actually a fold down compartment as well. So about halfway through here, there's a button latch attachment that you can fold down, so you can put packages underneath and on top.
And on the top. Interesting.
Exactly.
When Amazon on their routes, they design about a 3-hour route.
Yeah.
They were typically never more than 30 or 40 miles at most. Is where I was delivering, but I can imagine it's probably even tighter here in Los Angeles.
I was not aware of that's how they do it. 3-hour windows.
A lot of their gig drivers called Amazon Flex.
Yeah.
And they would basically set up a 2, 3, 4-hour route, which was between 30 and 40 stops.
Right. And what is the demand for the Deliverator specifically?
Any company can use it as a branding opportunity for their business. Any company can do local deliveries with it. And I think we can see in our economy that there's a lot more delivery happening.
Well, now, especially with work from home. Is it translating into like a purchase orders? Any like major brands that are saying we want to do, maybe even do a test fleet, right? 10 or 12 of these things.
Yeah, so we've had test programs for DHL. You know, users have probably seen photos of DHL wrapped Deliverator.
The Domino's pizza one, that was the famous
Domino's
one.
We did a DHL, I did like 2 or 3 for DHL.
How have those programs gone? Have they translated into sales, or has they?
I don't know, because I don't work in the sales.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm a fan.
Thanks.
I've always said that I was more of an investor than a consumer, but after driving this as a little third vehicle to have some fun on the weekends, it's not a bad deal, especially now that we know that we can get a tax credit if the infrastructure bill passes. That really could be a game changer for the adaptation of these things. Thanks so much for the tour, for the patience, and for giving me the full 360 on Arcimoto and what you guys are doing out here.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. The whole point of the ride of the Arconauts is to just bring the experience of the ride to people.
And so there it is.